Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out episode 4 spoiler-free review of Slasher Ripper titled Left-Handed Justice. Once again, this is directed by Andy McDonald, and yeah, all I'm going to say before we start the spoiler-free review is I am going to touch on a little bit of what happened in episode 3. So if you've not seen that episode as of yet, then definitely come back and check out this review, or if you're not too bothered, let's get straight into it. Now, of course, we saw last week that the widow killed Eddie in quite a brutal fashion. So in this episode, I'm going to be honest with you guys, episode 3 was my favourite of the season so far. But this episode kind of felt like a back seat. Now, we do get a little bit more explanation as to what happened to Margaret back 12 years ago, which I'll touch on very shortly. But getting into Eddie's death, firstly, of course, we're kind of aware of the suspect possibly in this episode of Georges, who is played by Vom Allison. And I will say that this episode is mainly focused around that and trying to capture Georges, find out if they're the killer, if they're not the killer, why they're not the killer. So that is a big focal point of this episode. Also, another big focal point leads into the death in this episode. So there is one death, that's all I'm going to tell you, by the widow. And the death certainly leads to an event that happened 12 years ago, of course, with Margaret. So that is also on the horizon here. And then the other agenda that is touched on in this episode is mainly our side plot we've got with the 3 sisters. So we get a little bit more developments in that area, and that's certainly interesting. It certainly gives you a little bit of guesses. Okay, this is the area where they're going to go in, or think, right, this is going to how that's going to play out. So those elements, you know, are interesting because I'm interested to see where this is going to fit into the final story and our final kind of ever last episode, which I believe this season has got 8 episodes. We're already halfway through, and I feel like this first half of the season, and please, you guys, let me know down below in the comments, I've enjoyed this season like I do with every slasher season. I feel, however, if you've seen all of the seasons up to this point, this one's been quite weak at the halfway point. I'm certainly, you know, kind of still intrigued as to who's going to be the killer, which, let me get into the first thing I mentioned in this review before I kind of touch on what I was going to, and is about Margaret and this event that happened 12 years ago. Now, I think the killer at this point in the season, they're starting to make it a little bit obvious. Now, I could be wrong. I'm going to hold my hands up if I am right now. I still reckon that the killer is Regina, if I'm going to be completely transparent. There's been a lot of signs to prove that is the case. We will wait and see. But if we see in this episode in specifically, there is one scene that focuses on 12 years ago with a lot of the cast that were there at that moment. And then there's some of our characters that aren't in that scene. Now, surely, if the widow is going after these people who were there at that event 12 years ago and involved in this Margaret incident, then they may have not been at that night that is transpiring. So that's why I'm thinking that this kind of season is leaning into possibly the guesses now of who it's going to be the killer, because there's only a couple of the cast who aren't in that scene, at least for myself anyway. But what are your guys' thoughts? Leave any comments down below. Hope you've enjoyed this spoiler-free review, and once again, a big thank you to Shudder for sending me this early episode preview. If you've enjoyed these reviews, give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button down below so I can see you again on a future video. I've also launched merch, so you can actually get a hold of some Did You See That official merch by clicking the link down below in the description box. But over on my Patreon, memberships start from £2 per month. You can also request for me to watch movies and review them here onto the channel. Plus, it includes so many more perks. So definitely click that link down below, guys, in the description box to join Patreon today. And I also want to give a big thank you to all my awesome supporters over on Patreon who help really support my channel. And they also have YouTube channels as well. So their names will be down below in the description box. Please go subscribe to them and go show them some love. And until the next time that I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.